Alright guys, what is up? My name is XIKIZOID and welcome back to our life beginnings and always into the channel. If you're new here, welcome. And today we're going to be playing the DLC moment called Library. So let's just start. This is the DLC. So if you only have the base game, this will not be available to you. So let's just start with the Library DLC. And every year the Sunset Bird Memorial Library held a summer reading program. Your moms and Lizzie were big fans of it. Mom and Mommy because it encouraged reading, and Lizzie because she could win prizes. And once again, Lizzie, our big sister, she's super competitive about literally everything that she does. So that will be really fun to see what happens here. And when it came to what she thought of having to read a bunch of books and then going to the library with a competitive Lizzie, I'm gonna say you loved it, of course, because reading books is gonna be like really enriching. So each time it had been one of the highlights of your summer. Getting to hang out with Lizzie and Shiloh and learn new stuff was a lot of fun, even if Lizzie was super intense about it. You and Lizzie went with Shiloh before, and this year you brought Cove as well. His dad had been so over the moon about Cove being included that he had driven all four of you, so this is his car maybe. And you had never been in Cove's dad's car before. It seemed a lot shinier than your mom's. And here we have, wow, that's a really detailed background, by the way. How did they make that? That must have taken like a long time. So after herding the group inside, Mr. Holding gave you all a wide wave with the arm that has a stingray on it. His tattoo, I mean, of course. So Cole's dad says, "Have fun, kids. Stay inside of the librarians, you hear? I wish I could watch you in action, but your poor old dad has to finish up some work." Oh, I spit a little bit, I'm sorry. I don't know if that was visible on the camera. I do that a lot actually. But Cove's dad says, "Though I'm sure that won't get in the way. Heck, I'll probably hold you kids back." There's pointedly no reply from his son over what was likely meant as only a joke. Cove's dad seems to deflate a bit. I'll swing around again when this shindig ends. And Cove is like, "Yeah, you can go home now." "Oh, you don't have to throw me out of the door. Your sister, already in full competition mode, cut him off. For once, Cove looked grateful she was there. "We have to go find a table, Mr. Hoden. You can talk to Cove after when we win." Okay, see you in about an hour. Have fun. Didn't I say that already? My advanced age is really catching up to me right now. Oh my god, he's not that old. He's like super young. He's probably like 30, the maximum. And he's like, bye son. So the four of you watched him shuffle out of the library, glancing over his shoulder at Cove more than once. "Bye, Mr. Hoden," Shiloh says. "Thank you for bringing us here." "Thanks, Lizzie." "I don't know what you're thanking me for. Are you copying Shiloh?" Distracted. Oh my god, that's so typical of like children to like accuse each other of like copying themselves or like each other. That's so, I remember that from my childhood. It was like a big deal to if you're like doing something that somebody else is doing. And distracted Cove was already glancing around the gigantic library. "I want to go explore," he says. "What?" "I said I want to go look around and see what's in here." "But the quiz starts soon, that's why we came." Right at the first sign of conflict, Shiloh's eyes darted between Lizzie and Cove. "Then you can do it without me, right? You don't need a bunch of people." "Didn't your dad say to stay with the librarians? You shouldn't go somewhere by yourself." Cove leveled an unimpressed stare at the both of them. Then his eyes met yours. "Ooh, we can, while looking at her, Ziggy's with us." "Ziggy can come if she wants to," Cove says. "Oh, I think we're gonna go, oh, I really want to go to the quiz because I really love quizzes. I really love doing quizzes and like showing or like seeing how much I know about something. But I don't know, man. I think we have to go over to Cove, or I'm gonna go over to Cove. Yeah, you walked over to Cove, averting your eyes from Lizzie. She's like, "Seriously?" Cove looked surprised but happy at the same time. He knew this was one of the things you liked doing with your family, but you'd chosen this time with him. Chosen time with him anyway. She's like, "Oh, fine, let's go, Shiloh." And he's very like confuzzled, is that a word? And her arms folded, your sister stormed off. Shiloh had threw ways to keep up with her. She cares a lot about that, Cove. Like, he's like very how do you say, He notices a lot of little things about people, I think, and that's just how he is, we say. And Cove is like, I don't like it. Since you've been here a lot before, we could play hide and seek. Hide and seek, not exploring? Yep, if I'm searching for you and you're searching for me, we'll already have to look at everything. You weren't entirely sure of how effective that would be, but couldn't say he was totally wrong. I'll hide first, he says. Okay, decision made. Cove took off towards the back of the library. And I wonder if you're gonna have a choice. You had already agreed to play with him instead, so you covered your face and waited for 10 seconds. Of course it's hide and seek, because he's gonna hide and we're gonna seek him. So when you looked up again, he was nowhere to be seen. You glanced over towards the way he went. Cove hadn't much time to hide, but he was already invisible. The place you decided to check was a solar system model, definitely, I think. Your library's solar system display was pretty neat. It had all of the planets from the sun on out, and it had its own little section hidden in the science books. But you saw a tiny pair of familiar shoes poking out from under the earth, and so you leaned around it. Hey there! And we found him! Oh my god, that's so cute! He turned back to the earth and its tiny moon. From this spot, I think it's supposed to be a solar eclipse. It kind of blocks out the sun, he says. You looked at it, tilting your head. He was right, this thing was something you always walked by, but you could never notice that before. Hide and seek seem to be working out for finding interesting things, though. Your turn now. I'm gonna cover my eyes and count to 10. I promise I won't peek. While Cove had his eyes securely behind the palms of his hands, you went to go hide. Oh, we have a couple of choices here. We can go by the fire awareness station, near the stuffed animals, under the giant piece of fruit, by the outlaw poster, in the fantasy section, or near the toddler books. Let's go near the stuffed animals. The stuffed animals are like a really good place to hide, because you can like go behind them and sort of like conceal yourself there. So let's go to the stuffed animals. There was a place near the toddler's books with lots of stuffed animals for kids to play with. A tiny section among the boxes of toys and beanbags was almost out of sight if you didn't check closely. It was the perfect place to blend in, and for a little while you did just that. Unfortunately, all the stuffed animals were also your downfall. Why? As soon as you took a breath and leaned back, one of the press to talk sensors went off. Oh my god, it's one of those that when you press their bellies and they start like talking or like squeaking or something. So, oh dear, I'm late for a very important date. I'm late for a very important date. Looks like a super spy detective on the trail of a diabolical supervillain, which in this case was probably you. Cove was there as soon as the white rabbit started squeaking. Wow, that's loud, he says. Oh no! Clearly entertained by your dramatic pretending to faint, pretend to faint, Cove laughed. That's silly, he says. Thanks, I know. He laughed again. He wiggled in his spot far away from the rabbit and gestured to the rest of the library. It's my turn again. I start counting so I can go pick a spot. Okay. Oh, I'm really liking this game, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's like super cute. And the music is like really upbeat and really like energetic. I'm loving it, really. And Cove started off before you even had a chance to fully close your eyes. Oh, wait a second, I think my dog is coughing. Okay, and we're back. So, one Mississippi. When the time was up, he was long gone again. And there was still a lot of good places to hide, so we figured he was maybe a detective poster, or old Christmas stuff, or behind the Willy Wonka statues. I'm gonna say the detective poster. I think that's the best choice here. So we figured he was probably near the poster with a gigantic poster. There's poster 2 times here of a smirking kid detective. Cove could have hidden in the itty bitty little reading area next to it. Glancing past the poster itself briefly, your brain registered the words "Junie B. Jones, don't call her Beatrice" in big imposing letters. You paused to stare at it for a second, thinking, why would I call her Beatrice if her name is Junie? Shaking your head to clear away the distraction, you tiptoed in to see who was sitting in the comfy chair. And sure enough, it was Cove. We keep like hitting all of these. I don't know if it's like whichever one you choose, you're gonna find him. But I'm really liking this game so far. I really am. So, but he was so absorbed in the book he was reading that he hadn't even noticed you yet. I don't think most people read while playing hide and seek, we say. And Cove glanced up at you in one rough motion. Oh, hi Ziki, I wasn't sure you would get here. It took a while. Not that long. Come on, Cove. It could have been worse, but it could have been better, he says. Let's keep playing. I'm doing good. He put his hands over his eyes, but before you could run off again, a librarian approached the two of you. Kids, I've been looking for you, the librarian says. Cove peeked between his fingers at the stranger. Us? You must be Cove. Your dad told me he was waiting by the entrance. Cove blinked, mouth opening like he was going to say something, then glanced down at his pink cast. It was a pretty clear giveaway, that cast, yeah, so sure. Is my sister Lizzie with him? She's taller than us and had orange hair. You're Ziki, right? You nodded. Phew, I found both of you at once. That's right, she's with him and a little guy with freckles. Shiloh, yeah, of course. Come on, let's go get you reunited so we can close up for the night. Oh, that's happening at nighttime. I didn't notice at all. So ready to go home, you and Cole followed him up front where the ragtag group of family members and Shiloh were all waiting. There you are, Lizzie says. She was pouting. You could tell all the way from across the room, and it was only that much more obvious as you got closer. Maybe she didn't win. And Cove is asking her, like, did you win? We came in second, Shiloh says. And Cove's dad is like, hey gang, I thought you have been with them the whole time, Cove. I'm glad you didn't just go by yourself at least. Cove glanced over at you, then back up at his dad. Yeah. Me too, he says. A broad smile spread over Mr. Horton's face. Yeah, I'm really happy with like how our like friendship with Cove is like developing. I think it's like a really nice thing. Because Cove really needed that friend, so us being there for him always and like him getting like warmer and warmer towards us, I think it's like super cute to like witness. So Cove that says, even so, next time you should Cove that glanced around slightly frantic, but Cove just like always had snuck off without thinking to say anything. He's leaving. Cove's trying to be the first one to the Okay guys, I'm sorry about that. My PC just ran out of disk space, so I had to like quickly like clear some stuff up. But we're back, and basically what happened was we didn't basically skip anything. But Cove was trying to not listen to his dad and just go straight to the car outside. And so with a sudden burst of speed, Lizzie darted for the exit, still in Victor to be mode, even for something like a race to ride into the front seat. There was nothing else for the three of you to do except head after them, pretending to the librarians hadn't noticed all the commotion. And though Lizzie had been victorious in claiming a window seat in the car, you could tell by her crossed arms the occasional pout that she still had not forgiven your betrayal. Oh, so we keep picking a Cove side in all of these things, like all of these situations where we have to pick between Lizzie and Cove. So I'm really not liking this position that we're in, always in the middle ground, always in the middle. But let's just see what happens. And Cove got tired when he had to sit in the middle after Lizzie shoot past him at the last second, but he had cheered up some as you hopped in the back seat next to him. And Cove's dad says, you just say you came in second place? That's some good going. No, it's not, she says. She's not happy with second place at all. So she levied another glare at you over her shoulder. Sure. Striving to improve is good too. And Cove says, I was winning in our game. Hardly. I was about to beat you, we say. Hide and seek with just you two? That doesn't even count as winning. Why not? It's not special. There's no judges or prizes. You eyed to see that she had fought so hard to win. That wasn't much of a prize either. Dad? Yes? You could see Cove's dad eyes in the rear view mirror, suddenly attentive at his son's call. We need a prize. Oh, as a matter of fact, Mr. Horton focused intently on the road ahead as though a suitable reward to please Cove might appear before him. Right, the big thing on the flyer for this was the chance to get a free pizza coupon, wasn't it? How about the call up a takeout place so we can have pizza at home for dinner? Lizzie huffed, pulling her arms closer to her chest. Great, now only Cove gets anything good. Hey there, I'll ask all your moms if it'd be alright for your kids to have some. Thanks, Cove's dad, we say. And thank you, Mr. Horton. Shiloh is like chiming in. So Cove is like, yeah, thanks, dad. All of the children are like very polite, very like they're very well taught to like always say please and thank you. Even though Cove did not say please this time, but it's okay. And you're welcome. I do what I can, he says. Cove's dad. But you really should have stuck with the group. The quiz would have been fun. That was the plan when I dropped you off. We stayed together and didn't leave the library. I'm glad for that. I am. Well, there's a lot of trouble you can get into even if you do have a buddy along for the ride. Just be careful next time. I worry about you, and I bet Ziki's parents wouldn't want her to run off unexpectedly either. Okay, son? Okay. And that's my boy. Now, enough good from your old dad. Let's decide what kind of toppings we're gonna get. Pepperoni, Lizzie says. Sounds good. Anything else? And the conversation continued from there with debates on what was the best to put on a pizza for the rest of the drive. Mr. Horton wanted anchovies, and the other three kids in the car had to band together to explain how gross they were. The way Cove's dad laughed up in the front seat made you wonder if he was doing it on purpose. You had a fun day already, but closing it out with the promise of a free pizza after all, and more time to hang out with Cove made it even sweeter. It was a shame that you hadn't been able to do the quiz, but skipping it for just 1 year didn't hurt. It was worth it. And yeah, that was the DLC moment called Library. So I think we're gonna do the ghost one in the next episode. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you want to see the future episodes that we're gonna do, like ghost, barbecue, runaway, sleepover, and then we're gonna do the next summer, which is gonna be super fun. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.